So Luke May had 18. Luke May went off. Luke May had 18, 6 rebounds. Cam Reddish had 13 in the first half. Second half, Cameron Johnson, who's been huge for North Carolina. Cameron Johnson has been huge for the North Carolina Tar Heels this year. I'm a fan of his. I'm a huge fan of his. He transferred here, and he's been playing top basketball all year long. He's been playing like he deserves to be here and that he can make it to the NBA. That's how he's been playing this season. So big ups to Cameron Johnson, had 26 and 7. Cam Reddish had 27 and 3. RJ Barrett had 33. But you could just see after Zion went out, this game was over. I mean, North Carolina was up by 10 the majority of the game. Shout out to Holly Newsom. Thank you for tuning in. Courtney says, even with Zion healthy, it would have been real tough for Duke to beat Carolina the way they were playing. I agree with you. And I was going to name the title of the show, Carolina was going to win regardless. That's what I was going to name it. But then I reverted back and I said, no, I'll just name it How You Feelin, Dukies, so we can see how the Duke fans out there are doing with this heartbreaking loss. Not only was it a heartbreaking loss, but it was heartbreaking in the first 36 minutes when Zion went down. And then from there on, it was all pretty much downhill from there. North Carolina was up by, like I said, by 10 or more most of the game. Luke May finished with 30 and 15. Luke May has been playing the best basketball in his entire career this year. Him and Cameron Johnson have been leading this team. Kobe White, the freshman, the wild hair freshman. I like this kid. Not to mention Nazir White. I mean, this was really a all-around good team. Now, national championship, good. I would have to say no. And you guys, if you don't know me by now, I'm the biggest Tar Heels fan that you'll probably ever know. But I don't see them winning the national championship. I don't see Duke doing it either. I think Duke got a little bit exposed. Now they didn't have Zion, but still, they weren't able to beat North Carolina, and they still have a stacked roster without Zion. Obviously, Zion is the biggest, I think, the most talented on that team. But arguably, you could say RJ Barrett is the best all-around player on that team. He had 33. So when it comes down to it, I think North Carolina would have won regardless. And I think North Carolina has the better all-around team, but I do believe Duke has the most talent. Shout out to Kesey in the building. Duke looked completely lost without Zion. And Kesey, man, producing a dope drop that I'm going to play here in a little while, talking about the X Squad contest. Tickets to the Dungeon Family concert or dinner for two. Shout out to Mo Cheese in the building, Sluggo in the building. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Any Duke fans out there? And if there's none, that's okay. But I just want to get a pulse of how you're doing. Are you over it now? Are you feeling better? I just want to know how you're doing, you know? So Carolina wins. Huge win by Carolina, beating number one. Duke was number one, 88-72. And Zion, if you guys want to wear it, Zion has an $8 million insurance policy on himself. But this will not be This will not actually go into effect unless it's going to affect his draft stock. So, Zion's a very smart person, and I believe his family's very smart, and I believe that they're going to make the best decision for him. But it does sound like he is going to play. And honestly, as long as it is not a lasting issue, I think that he should play. All right, let's also, I got to read a comment from Tyler Butler, part of the X Squad. Probably the funniest comment that I've seen on social media. And he said, Duke fans, your tears taste like brisket. Hashtag Tar Heel Nation. Shout out to Tyler Butler, man. I got to give him a round of applause for that one because I was dying laughing. Duke fans, your tears taste like brisket. That was a good one. So breaking news of today, you probably already know by now, but Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, has been charged with 2 counts of solicitation of prostitution. Robert Kraft. Grego, I'm going to keep calling you out till you jump in the chat room. Come get your boy. Come get your boy. Also, San Diego State upsets number 6 Nevada. Nevada had a 10-game winning streak. Shout out to San Diego State doing what they do with a huge upset. Also, a very sad story. So this is not a funny matter at all. Jim Boeheim strikes and kills a guy on the interstate. That's an extremely sad story. I'm not even going to try to spin that or anything. Prayers up for that family. Prayers up for Jim Boeheim. There's still more. I believe there's probably still more to the story that I fully understand or know. But yeah, that's a sad thing to have to say and announce. And so, rest in peace to that person. Still more to the story coming out. Clutch Talk, my man Kevin, I believe he has an article on his website, if I'm not mistaken. CT Sports, I believe that's ctsportsradio.com, if I'm not mistaken. Put that in the chat room if I got that wrong. But, yeah, very, very, very sad note right there. All right, so college basketball is going to continue to heat up. We got 5 games left in the season for most teams. Then we got the conference championship games, and then we get directly into March Madness, which we're all waiting for. So other NFL news I want to get to. Dwayne Haskins will throw at the Combine next week. I guess there was some speculation of if he was going to throw at the Combine. But to me, Haskins' spot is solidified. I don't think we need to see Haskins throwing at the Combine. In my opinion, if I'm a team, I don't think I need to see what he has because he's already shown it. He's shown it throughout the entire season. So at this point, I don't think we need to see let's see what Dwayne Haskins has. We already know that. That's already well known of what he's able to do. So at this point, it's just a matter of when he's going to get drafted. I think he's going to the Giants. A lot of people think he's going to the Giants. Yeah, so at this point, it's just a matter of, coming to the draft and getting drafted. To me, that's all he really needs to worry about because he's already shown what he can do and what he's been able to do this year. Also, I believe that's Art Rooney. says that the NFL Rooney Rule needs to be audited, and what he said is, he said he's not going to say that there's racism, but he said there's clearly a problem with this rule. And I think that's amazing that he said that, because it is true. There is that rule, and it's almost like you interview someone that's black, but if you don't hire them, and the percentage of the amount of black coaches that you hire is so low, then there's a problem with that. So I fully agree with his statement. Courtney Harden says, do you guys put any stock in NFL Combine? Does it matter, or is it just overhyped every year? I thought it was more important for Murray to throw, as he supposedly opted not to do so. Yeah, I think for guys that are unproven, and I mean Murray too, I don't think Murray needs to necessarily throw. I think we've seen enough. Murray, Tua's not coming out, but Murray, Tua, if he was coming out, and Haskins, I don't think we need to see. Like, there's nothing else that we need to see. We've seen enough, I think. So I do think the Combine is important for certain players. To answer Courtney's question, I think it matters for those players from the small schools, from those players that didn't perform as well during the season. But for, like I said, Haskins, for Kyler Murray, for top running backs, top players that we've seen so much tape on them already, to me, I don't think we need to worry about that. I don't think we need to have them come to the Combine. To me, it's for small schools, for North Dakota State or whatever, those type of schools. So let's get into this Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown has had a discussion with Mr. Rooney, as he said in his Instagram post, and they had a good conversation. They cleared the air. They both agreed it's time to move on, but he says, I'll always have appreciation and gratitude for the Rooney family and the Steelers organization. So let's look at some landing spots here. And also, the Steelers won't trade Antonio Brown at a discounted price either. So the price must be right. Like the TV show, the price must be right. Shout out to Vince Wright in the building. Happy birthday to Vince Wright. The big 50. Happy birthday to you. Hopefully you're enjoying your day, sir. All right, so potential destination spots. And actually, there was an article that just came out about 9 minutes ago on The Score talking about 3 teams have inquired about trading for AB, and they will not say what those 3 teams are, but I've got my own list. So here's, I think, some suitors that would definitely go after AB. One is the Jets, which I think could definitely happen. I think they could possibly get him and Le'Veon Bell. That would be interesting. Also, the Packers. The Packers need a wide receiver, so that seems like a no-brainer. The 49ers, which I think could definitely happen. That gives you someone for Garoppolo to throw to. That gives you another wide receiver along with Garcon, along with Goodwin. The Colts, definitely a possibility. Him and T.Y. Hilton on the field at the same time. And you could add Le'Veon Bell to the Colts. So I think these 2 guys could possibly end up on the same team. I think they could actually end up on the same team, and that's in Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. And I think we have a huge possibility of that happening, because they're both out